Hello and welcome to today's live stream. Just getting set up here. Not very prepared tonight. I'll just knock some stuff over, that'll help. And get everything in view. Oh, that looks manageable. Hopefully everything looks okay and sounds okay. Hello. How are you? MJJ Fan 10? I don't have my glasses on yet. That's another thing I didn't have ready. Like that chat is really hard to read. All right. Hi, Trashy Marshmallow. Love that name. So to start things off, I did a poll on the community tab on YouTube to see what I should be making tonight or what medium I should be working with. So first place is needle felt, as you can tell by the thumbnail. So I'm going to be doing a needle felt little cat, just kind of a simple little kitty out of needle felt. Tied at second place was Warbler and Polymer Clay. And so third/fourth place is 3D Pen. Hello Jordan, how are you? Trashy Marshmallow asks, how are you? I am doing great, just wasn't quite as prepared as I should be for this stream. Did quite a few streams in a row, or not in a row, but several in a week, and then I cut back a little bit. I'm working on some more edited content, and so I don't want to say out of the habit, because I still do 2 a week, you know, but my routine's off just a slight hair. So tonight, like I said, I'm going to do a needle felt cat, and I built up a ball of polyester fiber fill, and I'll show you just with this little bit here how I do this. So this is a multi-needle tool for needle felting. It has 3 needles on it, and I just take the polyester fiber fill and stab it with the needles. These needles are very, very sharp, so if you do needle felting, be very careful and you will poke yourself. Now the reason why I use polyester fiber fill to build it up is polyester fiber fill cost about $3 or about 19 cents an ounce, I think. If you get it on sale with like a coupon, you get a big box of it. So 19 cents an ounce. The needle felt, when you buy it in, if I could find one, these little packages, it's $1.59 for half an ounce. So you're looking at over $3 an ounce to do that. So you want to limit how much you're using of this. I keep it all to the outside. Now you can get better deals online. Some of the stuff's kind of hard to tell exactly how much you're getting. There's different qualities of it. This comes in a 6-pack of like neutral colors, and I don't necessarily like it, but I have a lot of it, so I'm going to use it. But it gets all these specks in there and it feels rough. I've gotten this stuff on Amazon. It's really, really soft. I wish I could find everything like this, and I'll probably order more off of there, but I would like to also buy it, you know, if I could find some in craft shops or somebody who, you know, maybe on Etsy, gonna support somebody else too. So I'm gonna set some of my stuff aside that I don't need at the moment. And I'm just going to do a little tan kitty. I've got my eyes off over here, or the kitty's eyes. So I'm just separating this a little bit. Just going to pull some of it off there. And I might do like stripes or something on this guy, but I'm just going to go ahead, and he's just going to be this kind of a ball cat. So I'm going to do the ball shape, add a tail and some ears and little facial features. I have seen some people do some like just crazy, outrageously realistic cats with needle felting, which I'd still like to try, but that's definitely not something I would try on a live stream. That's something that's like, oh, I need, 7 hours off and on working on this. Not something that's going to take, 40 minutes to an hour or whatever, or less. I don't know how long this will take. I got into needle felting because I've always liked plush and I don't know how to sew. And I watched some videos on needle felting and you don't need to sew, although it can be helpful. So I thought I could do this. So when I want to make a creature that I want it to be more furry, fuzzy, soft, I'll do the needle felting. If I want a creature to be a mix of both, I will do needle felting with, like I might make clay hands or clay claws for it. I like doing the mixed media, medium stuff. I mean, it's fun to have all those different textures and looks to it. And you can see there's some of that stuff in there. I don't know if that'll come across on camera. You get these darker little flakes. It's almost like it's dirty. I'm sure it's in the process of how they make it, but I know I've gotten some, like some of the stuff I've gotten on Amazon isn't like that. So it's obviously not in everybody's process, or they have a better cleaning process. I haven't really talked to anybody else that's done a lot of needle felting, if that's normal, if that's acceptable. It's one of those things I just learned from watching videos online, and they never saw anything about that. I think it would be fun to go to a needle felting class or something somewhere. I think when you learn stuff on your own, and even if you watch a lot of videos, you don't catch everything. And I've been doing it for years, but there's, I could be missing a valuable technique, or there might be some tips to make it better. And you can always learn from other artists, and especially people that have more experience or more training. Getting there. Probably get this covered first, then add the tail, which I'll make completely out of the wool. And the ears, I'll show you how to do those. And then the facial features and the stripes. And then add the eyes, or we can add the eyes during the facial feature stage. The eyes are over here. They're the same eyes I've used on some other stuff. They're just ones I got in a pack, multi-pack of eyes. So they're green with those, slit in the middle, so they work well for small cats, reptiles. I just use it for monsters, whatever. Get some more tore off here. This covered. Jordan asks, how does needle felting work? To the best of my knowledge, Jordan, the way I was explained is these needles have little barbs on it, and as it goes in and it pushes that wool down into it. It locks it in place, and the way it was explained to me is like it's a zip tie. So once it's locked in place and you pull this needle out, it's not going to come out. I mean, you could sit there and dig at it, but you'd be, you know, basically like breaking a zip tie. But that's how it tightens up and forms into the shape you want. And it, like I said, I use the polyester fiber fill to build up my base first, and you're able to kind of sculpt with that too. So, I mean, as you stab it, it'll become more dense. And if you focus on one area, that one area is going to sink in because it's going to keep pulling. And it's going to, you know, you don't want to get it too dense. If you get it too dense, you can break the needles. And that's just a, you know, learn as you go type thing on what will work for you. And I haven't seen a lot of other people's needle felt stuff in person to know if if my stuff's more dense or it's softer and squishier. I would like to get some just to see, and I like to, you know, collect other people's arts. Hello, Brandy. How are you this evening? How is work going? We'll get some specs off this guy. You can kind of look over if you see any spots that are a little bit thin. You can add some more. Even though it's expensive, I'm not too, you know, stingy with it. Hello, Heather, how are you? Heather is doing pretty good. Excited to watch some felting. Excellent. So this is what I have so far. Built up my polyester fiber fill before the stream, just because it takes quite a bit of time. I did a few of them, or a couple of them, and took about 40 minutes. Depending on how long this goes, I'll either do 1 or 2 little cats tonight. I thought it'd be good to have a backup one in case this went really fast and other people wanted to see me make another one. So I've just got that started, getting all covered. I'm just going to do this little ball, bring around a tail, a couple of ears, and add a cute little face. Years ago when I started needle felting, I made some kitties like this, but I gave them little ninja masks, and I made little ninja kitties. This is just going to be a cute little cartoonish style kitty. That's pretty good for the body. I can always add to it if I notice a spot that needs adjusted. I'm going to make a tail for our kitty. So for those of you that just came on, I was explaining that this wool lots of times has little specks of just gunk in it. It almost feels like, you know, wood branches, or like, not wood branches, but like, yeah, fleas. Dustin says fleas. But it's just like little shreds of like bark or something, or just, yeah, just little crumblies. And hello, Dustin. Heather asks, what made you interested in felting? So main thing that got me interested in felting is I mentioned this earlier on the stream, but so some of you already heard this. I wanted to do plush, but I don't know how to sew. And the people that I saw doing plush have been sewing for years, and I'm like, okay, that's, you know, I don't want to do them that bad. But then I saw some characters that are needle felted, and I'm like, what is that? You know, so of course I go on YouTube and search it and watch some tutorials, and I see them doing it, and I'm like, I could do that. I mean, that doesn't look that hard. I mean, I've stabbed myself a dozen times or more, but, you know, you survive. So that's what got me into it, is I liked, you know, wanted to do plush. And what's nice about it is if I want to do a character, you know, like an Ewok or, you know, like a Niffler or a Mogwai, I'd rather do those out of needle felting, especially if I want to do something bigger than I would out of clay or warbler. But it's also nice to, you know, mix different things. One of the things I made was, I made Heather a scrappy chicken that is needle felted. It has warbler, it has clay, it has glass beads, it has wires on it. It's kind of my whole mixed medium sculpture. I also did a Deadpool Mogwai one year. So it looked like Gizmo, but it was in Deadpool colors. And I did the body out of the felted wool and did the hands and the ears out of clay. So I'm just getting the end of the tail here. Didn't want too much scraps. Another one of those specks. Doesn't look like it's moving, so I don't think it's a flea. All right. Now we want to attach the tail. Then I could also bring it around. And you can add like a wire to it. You just have to be careful when you're stabbing it not to break your needles or cut the wire if it's really thin. You kind of have to go in between there. But for this little guy, I'm just going to do it loose and then bring it around and attach it. So we've got the tail wrapped around a little bit. Now I'm just going to stab it a few times to hold it in place. Just want to do it from underneath because I want it to still look kind of open on the top there. Alright, so there's our kitty with its tail coming around. Got some felted with some wool here that's a little bit looser than I would like. And I don't think there's any right or wrong on the way to do this. I've seen some people keep their felted sculptures really loose and that wool's all over, and I've seen ones that are really tight and it's just almost smooth like. I kind of go with what I prefer for the individual product, but I don't ever have it be too loose. So now I'm going to make the ears. Now my method for the ears is to make a little square and cut it in half. So you got to just start building it up into a square shape. And since this is just a kind of a kitty head tail thing, I'm not really worried about it being proportional. I'm just going to make the ears, and if I like the way they look, then they're going on there. Heather says, I would have stabbed myself so many times by now. Yeah, I mean, I think I've stabbed myself on one of my other live streams. I've definitely done it a lot, especially if I'm sitting in my chair doing like a larger project. And like if I'm watching TV and just kind of going, and then you kind of lose track. Jordan asked, did you wait until you felt it was time to try something new, or was it your first one by commission? It wasn't a commission, it was just something I wanted to try. And a few years ago too, what I did several conventions in a row, and I felt like I was a factory making stuff out of clay, and it just kind of destroyed my hands that year. And now I've noticed when I switch between doing needle felting, Warbler, clay, and the 3D pin, I'm just as busy, but my hands, you know, aren't sore all the time. Dustin says it's like the scene from Aliens. I can't do it that close though. But even Bishop missed. It's definitely one of my all-time favorite movies, and I still need to make an alien sculpture of some kind. That would be a good piece out of Warbler. Give it a nice coat and sand it, make it nice and smooth. Alright, that wasn't even quite that much to even tear off to make it worth it. Randy says the egg hatching. I love the eggs. I think NECA makes a life-size like rubber egg, but they're expensive, and that's something like it'd be cool to have like 3 or 4 of them, especially for like a sci-fi movie party or something like that, and have like a fog machine. Hello, Chris. How are you? Chris, I saw you responded to our chat in our group chat there, so I will read all those when I'm done with the stream. Just gonna work this in a little bit, try not to stab my fingers and cause a scene. Chris says, all to be taken constructively, referring to his messages. No, I appreciate anybody's input on anything, really. So I just cut that square in half, and then I'll curve these in a little bit to make our kitty's ears. Chris just posted a bunch of squirrel emojis, which means I should make some squirrels sometime. I mean, I've made a squirrel before, but, you know, a needle felt one. I don't think I've done a needle felt squirrel. Done a needle felt otter. This is where it gets tricky, because you got to kind of hold it in place, and then at least stab it enough so it stays in place. Here's not really pointed, but I think it'll be fine. Kujin Comic Art. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Kujin. How are you? Good to see you on tonight. This ear is being a little bit difficult. You want to get it nice and attached before I even start on the other one. Kujin is doing good. Kujin, I am doing great tonight. pretty busy this week with several different projects. I've got a new edited video coming out tomorrow. And then I need to edit my next edited video that'll be on Monday. I'm staying a little bit ahead, but I'm not quite as far ahead as I want to be. So on the other ear, I just try to line it up the best I can. And it's going to shift some as you apply it and attach it to the base. But you can also kind of manipulate them a little bit once you have them on there. Shift things around, readjust. Definitely a little bit tricky to do, and I'm sure I saw this on some video. I'm not taking credit on this technique for doing the ears. And sometimes you can even just, like I did there, where you just kind of squeeze it and it reshapes it. And I'm not making this little guy for anything particular. I just wanted to do one for the video, and it'll probably hang out on my couch down here in my art studio. Try to just tighten this ear up a little bit more. It's not quite the shape I want. This is where you got to really get, you know, because that needle's going through, but you got to kind of hold some stuff in place. Right. The tail kind of pushes him back a little bit, but I like that look. I'll bring him up to the camera now. Gonna see him from how I would see him. He's just like that. His tail's actually not quite in the center. I've kind of put those ears on, so I might, let me redo that a little bit. So you can see I can just kind of pull that. I'm gonna recenter the tail a bit. Didn't pay enough attention to that when I was putting the ears on, and it's a heck of a lot easier to redo that tail. Kujin says the felt is neat how it works. Heather says, I was wondering how easy it would be to redo. And Dustin says turbo mode engage. Yes, that's not a time lapse. That's my Bruce Lee needle felting. All right. Yeah, Heather, you know, it's not too hard. Just depends on how much you've applied it, you know, or how much you've stabbed it in there. If some of the more complex pieces that were, you know, attached with more stabbing, I don't know how else to say it, you know, it might kind of pull apart more of this, the piece as you take it apart. I know I've glued eyes in and I messed up and had to take them out, and I mean I pretty much had to cut them out with an X-Acto knife, which kind of gave me a durability test for it. So it's a little better. Bring that up. Like I said, if you want them a little more pointed, kind of squeeze them a little bit. There's also a thing called wet felting, which I haven't really looked into. I don't know if it's just a matter of getting the felt wet so it's denser when you work with it. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. But there might be more to it, you know. I know there's a guy that did some Star Wars books for kids, and he did all the characters out of kind of like a needle felted characters. And on Chewbacca, with the way Chewbacca's fur was, he did a lot of wet felting. But I mean, it didn't give like any demonstrations of it. So for the eyes, this isn't going to be enough to stick the eyes in. This is just going to give me an indentation to start with. But hopefully you can see how that's indented in compared to the rest. And these are pretty big eyes for this guy. So I kind of just line it up on the well, it's about middle of that part of the ear. So I'm going to go about middle again. Jordan says it kind of looks like Jigglypuff from the Detective Pikachu movie. So Jordan, the question is, have you seen my Jigglypuff that I made out of needle felt? Hi Jessica, how are you? I did do a video of it, Jordan, but it was just a quick look video. It wasn't like how I made it. Hi, Gavin. Gavin says, hey, Andrew, I can't watch today. Just wanted to say hi. Hello. We'll definitely check it out after it's up. I appreciate you stopping by, but it'll be up on my channel after this. Heather says I got to hold him. It was awesome. Thank you. I was really happy with how Jigglypuff turned out. But if Jordan hasn't seen him, I can bring him in. Bye, Gavin. Jessica says a little late. I'm okay, I guess. Just okay, Jessica? What's wrong? Or is it just one of those days? Just what we seem to be having lately. So now the fun part of the eye sockets. I've got the indentions there, and I'm going to use the X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut kind of like a little cross section there. And you can hear that cutting into the polyester fiber fill underneath. Oh, Jessica doesn't feel well. Well, hopefully it's nothing serious. I've had a lot of allergy issues. Then you're always like, do I have allergies or do I have something else? So again, if you're doing this, you want to be very careful. The X-Acto knife is also very sharp. Before I add the glue, I want to make sure it's deep enough for these. Jordan says, I just found a thumbnail. I love it. Well, if you guys want, I can bring him in real quick. It's not too far away. So there's the start of the kitty face. I'm going to go ahead and glue those in so that I can build up around it. Jessica says, allergies probably, I don't have a fever. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Every time my allergies are bothering me, like, oh, do I check to see if I have a fever? This glue is not, I think, about empty. Let's have a backup here, but I don't know how good it is. Of course, it's not going to be any good if I can't open it. Fail on live TV. So let's try this one again. Come on. Betrayed by the super glue. Sometimes if you twist them there's just these little bottles in there. I've taken these apart before. You twist them and you can kind of get some more out of it, but Dust says I need a backup. I know. It's like, I know I've got some more around here. Oh, come on. Come on, glue. Not going away too far. Need to find my backup. I think I might have to make a run to Dollar General and see if I can get some more, because I don't see any. Besides, I got this one here, and it still seems to have some in there, so. Phew! Saved. I'm going to save those 2 bottles for another art project. So I'm just going to try to line up those little eyes the best I can. Kind of push them in there, hold them in place for a little bit, and they should be good. His ears distorted a little bit. I think I needed a better square when I did it. Dustin says, tap out, little cat. You're going down. Meow. That's a little better. Go, little kitty. This is so cute. So soft. Okay. And this has got a little bit of a scuff on it. It's just like a manufacturer thing. So I might put some darker felt around there. Just kind of cover that up and add some detail to it. Maybe give it like even a one eye that's kind of spotted. Or not, yeah, spotted. Has a patch. So I'm going to take a little bit of this pink and make a nose. Heather says, oh, cute. Hugin says, so cute. Thank you, guys. So we get tricky when we get into these smaller things. You'll get a lot of like this fuzz on your mat. I'm just gonna want to get rid of some of it because I don't want it transferring as much. It's not like the clay, but you'll, when you stab in, especially if you added a darker color in there, the lighter, like from the polyester fiber fill, shouldn't be an issue. Who just says, soft kitty, I love the eyes. Yeah, I need to see if I can track down some more eyes and some different color ones. I know some people make some, and that's what I should do. You get those little half glass beads that you can paint on one side. So for the nose, I kind of want like a rounded triangle. Dustin says, ain't nobody got time for that. Well, I'll just make a video out of it and just make a whole bunch. Then it's a win-win. I can justify things with my time if I can, you know, either do them on a live stream or make a video. And I can tell my wife I'm working. I'm trying to fold this in and build up that shape for that nose. Anybody else working on art tonight? almost think that nose is too big. Want enough room to put a little mouth under there. So I'm going to cut the off part, and then I'll go back over this with the needle. Heather says, nope, I should be though. JJ fan says, I'm trying to get back into the groove of watercoloring. That's awesome. What kind of stuff do you paint? Like, do you do landscapes or characters? All right. That might work. I kind of tighten it up as I put it on there. So I'm going to switch over. This guy has 2 needles on it. MJ fan says usually landscapes and still lives, but I've started using watercolor pencils and they're fun to draw characters with. That's awesome. And if anybody wants to send me like a picture of their art, I'll put my email down in the description box below after this video's up. It usually takes about 12 hours for these to come up as like a regular video. For some reason, that's changed on YouTube in the past month. But if you ever want to send me that, I will feature them in a video and give you a shout out to whatever, you know, Facebook, YouTube, Etsy, whatever you want in that shout out. Jordan is just attaching keychains and gluing pins and magnets. Doing the production part of it. I know how that goes. I'll make a bunch of necklaces, and then I'm like, oh, now I've got to attach all the necklaces and put them in bags. And Kujin says, Andrew, what is your favorite creature you've created? Like top 5. I've done some Groots that I've really liked. I really love the piranha plant I made out of Warbler. There's a video of it, quick video of that. Dustin says, crap, I gotta go. My kid keeps trying to break himself on stuff. Well, go tend to your kid, Dustin. I will talk to you later. Yeah, the piranha plant's definitely one of my favorite. Jigglypuff's one of my favorite. I'm really happy with my Swamp Thing head because it's the longest project I've done, but I am working on a project that, you know, if I ever finish it, will be an even longer project. I just finished a present for my wife that took about 10 hours, and that video will be up on Monday. It's not a creature, though. I know there's something I'm forgetting, Kujin, but Kujin says cool. Awesome, thanks. Oh, and I like my Necronomicons. I'm happy how those turned out. Kind of want to puff up his cheeks a little bit. Kujin says it'll be cool to see the video on Monday. Thank you. I don't know if this is going to work how I think. So I think I might do 2 separate little balls of this felt, this wool. I'm going to switch over to my 3 needle tool. I'm going to put this one away before I hurt myself. I don't know about you guys, but on my art, I'm torn between stuff that it's like, wow, I can't believe I made that, to, or like, wow, I can't believe I made that. That did not turn out at all how I wanted. So, and that's what's tricky, you know, not tricky, but that's what's a little overwhelming on doing the live streams, because it's going to turn out however it turns out, you know. But it's been a really fun experience, and it really, one, it makes you stay on track. I don't work on it for 10 minutes, then, you know, get sidetracked with a TV show or something. And you kind of have to work through issues you have, like the kitty falling over. Don't do it, kitty. Like right now, I'm not 100% sold on the nose, but I think once I kind of puff up the cheeks a little bit, it'll look good. And that'll help get the face some definition too, even though he's pretty much all face. Just getting this tail out of here because I don't want to attach the cheek to the tail. And I did grab some black wool, so if I want to add like some little lines here. Not for sure if I will or not after adding the cheeks though. I'll just have to wait and decide. Definitely got to pay really close attention to what you're doing here, so you don't stab yourself. You can also use the black to do some little whiskers for this guy. Or you could use some pipe cleaner. Or some thicker thread. Just whatever you want to do with them. Kujin says, when you got some time to think about it, could you send me a list of your like 5 or 10 creations on book face for Kujin? Yeah, I'll try not to forget. Send me a reminder if you don't see something. But definitely. You know, and I've been doing this for like the polymer clay for about 10 years consistently, so there's been things I've, you know, even forgotten I've even done, and you know, and I definitely, you know I've improved on some things, but there's also things that turned out better than I thought early on too, so. Just gonna add a little bit more down here where his little mouth would be. I don't know if this is going to get the look I want, but I'm going to bring him up to the camera so you guys can see what he's looking like right now. There's our kitty so far. Kujin says cute. Thank you. So what I can do, I'm gonna put this guy away. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. And I'm gonna switch over to my 2-needle tool. Just gonna take a little bit of this black wool roving, kind of twist it a little bit. Gonna kind of have it be that little spot in the middle there. Jessica says, is it a cat? I love cats. Yes, it's a little kitty, but it's a very simple cat. It has no body. It's just this head and this tail. Yeah, I've seen people do like realistic cats with needle felting, and it's just crazy, and I don't even know how long that would take and what it would take, but I'd like to try one that's more realistic, but I thought for the live stream this would work perfect. So I think I'm going to trim a little bit of this off, and then kind of tuck that in with the needle, get this a little bit less noticeable, kind of thin it out a bit. Jessica says it's cute, I really like it. Thank you. It's kind of a cute little cartoonish plush kitty. All right, I'm going to take another little section here. Just kind of bring it around this other cheek. Trim off the stragglers and try not to cut my finger like I just did. Don't cut myself on don't poke myself with the needles, but I use regular scissors and about take a chunk out of my finger. Keep doing that, my wife won't let me have sharp things down in my art room. Make sure that's nice and in there. I think that works for Kitty. So I'll bring that up. Now I just wanted to bring up some of the brown around here, the darker brown, and then I'll add maybe a couple stripes along the back, and I think our kitty will be done. So I've got some darker brown. Dropping my wool in front of my phone. Can't see the chat. Kujin asks, using the felt, was it easy or was this a hard learning curve? I didn't think it was too hard. You know, like everything else with art, I mean, it takes time. But if you're interested in getting into it, definitely watch some tutorials. I do have some other needle felting videos. I think I have a what is needle felting or something like that. I know I did a what is warbler, but I have like a what is needle felting video. So definitely check that out. Check out some other needle felters videos, and then just kind of start small and go from there. Do, you know, kind of like ball type characters before you do, you know, ones with a bunch of, like, you know, a 4-legged dog or something. Jessica says, I use my cat's picture for my profile pic because she is better looking than me in my opinion. Oh, Jessica. I don't know about you guys. All right, just tucking this in. I want to get this nice and attached. And I want to get it kind of smooth so it's not sticking out. So it's just how its fur is. Who just says any craft takes time and effort to master. Absolutely, yeah. And you know, and it's just like with the clay that I do. I mean, I do a lot of cute, you know, claymation style characters, but there's people that do totally realistic ones, you know, and it's not a level I'm at or even, you know, trying to be at, but it's like there's different levels and different appreciation for each level of it. Kujin says, I love the eye patch. Thank you. All right. He's not wanting to quite sit, so I'm going to flatten out his body a little bit. See if I can get him to sit a little better on the desk. There we go. His eye patch didn't quite cover up that little flaw in the glass, or that eye, so let me get that. Kujin says it is neat how that works. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I was surprised when I first started doing it on how well it, you know, stays together. The one thing I will mention to you guys, for some reason, animals love to tear these things apart. I've sold several that people, you know, didn't put up. I even warned some people, and you know, like, no, really. Oh no, my dog won't bother it. Oh, it will. There's something in the wool. So there's our kitty. I'm gonna add a few stripes, and then we'll call it a night. Like I said, I did make another ball. If I wanted to do another one, but this one's, we're almost at an hour now, so I think we'll just do one. I still have a few things to do on it. Said I didn't know if this is going to be a 30-minute project or an hour and a half project. So I'm going to start off, I think I'm going to do one little stripe on its forehead. Or maybe, yeah, maybe I should even, I could bring it down. Do it across like a brow or in the middle. Should we do across, middle? Kujin says middle. And then we can kind of match up the stripes going that way with it. Kujin, if you haven't done so, be sure to check out the Scrappy, and this goes for everybody else too, the Scrappy Chicken video. That's the one that I made for Heather on here. And that was a lot of fun because that one uses like everything. I've yet to do something with the 3D pen and everything else, so that'll be my next thing. Which was almost tonight's video because the first 4 votes each voted for something different. I'm just twisting this a little bit. Go like that. I'm going to attach it and hopefully not stab myself. Kind of slipped for a little bit, so I was getting worried. Yep, let's make Scrappy the Cyborg Chicken. Absolutely, that's the one. So this one I need to kind of tuck underneath that tail. So I'll kind of start underneath there, work up. Kujin says, I'll watch after the stream. Thank you. Let me know what you think of it. Any input you guys ever have on my videos, it's greatly appreciated. I want my content to be entertaining and educational, all that fun stuff. All right, I think the kitty's little kitty face thing's done. So bring it up, let you guys take a look. Little stripes on the back. Do 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 do. Meow, meow, meow. Thumbs up from Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. All right. Thank you, Kujin. Dustin has what I missed. I finished up the kitty. I'll bring it up one more time so you can see the finished kitty. So I added the patch, some stripe details, just a cute little plush kitty. Like I said, you could add some whiskers to it. And on some of the clay ones I've done like wires for the whiskers, that works. If you want it to be, remain soft, you don't want to do that, but you could add something else. MJ fans says, cute, thank you. All right, guys, thank you for watching tonight. I greatly appreciate everybody stopping by. I will have a new edited video tomorrow that'll be posted probably around 8 a.m. Central Time, but that'll be on my channel for whenever. And on Sunday, I'll do my Let's Make a Monster live stream, and that's at 2 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. All right, again, thanks for watching, and remember, never stop creating. Bye.